Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're gonna kind of get into the nuts and bolts of personal finance.
Okay,
We've got this article from the Corporate Finance Institute as our guide.
cool.
They call it Personal Finance Defined Guide Example Template. It's a mouthful,
Yeah.
but we'll break it down and make it digestible.
It is a comprehensive piece, for
Yeah.
sure. Covers just about everything you need to know from the basics
Right.
all the way to building a solid plan.
Whether you're, already kind of knee deep in investments and all that, or
Yes.
just starting to think about your financial future,
Yeah,
there's definitely going to be something in here for you.
yeah, absolutely.
What I found interesting right off the bat is how they define personal finance.
Okay.
It's not just about, how much you earn.
Right.
It's about making your money work for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the article stresses that. It's a process of planning and managing all your financial activities. It's not just about getting that next paycheck.
Right.
Yeah. It's about thinking of yourself as the architect
Oh, I like that.
of your own wealth.
Yeah, yeah.
Build it from the ground up.
And speaking of building, the article breaks it down into these 5 key areas,
Okay.
like the foundation of a house almost.
Yes, and the first one might seem kind of obvious, income,
Yeah.
but it's not just about your salary. We're talking about, dividends, rental income, maybe even that side hustle you've got going.
Okay, so diversifying your income streams is a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
But of course, what comes in must go out, right?
Right.
That dreaded spending category.
Yeah, the article actually gets pretty specific here, making a distinction between cash and credit spending,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is smart
Yeah.
because they each require a different approach, different
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah.
And a simple tip I often recommend is, track your spending for like a month.
Uh-huh.
You might be surprised at where your money is actually going.
Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Eye-opening for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you realize those daily lattes really add up.
They do add up, yeah.
Okay, so what about saving?
Okay.
Is it possible to have too much sitting in a savings account?
It might sound counterintuitive, but the article actually argues that yes, even saving needs a strategy.
Okay.
Because if you have like a large sum just sitting in a low interest account,
Right.
you're actually losing value because of inflation.
Mm.
So the idea of opportunity cost comes in. What could you be doing with that money instead to make it grow?
So striking that balance, enough for emergencies, short-term goals,
Right.
but not so much that it's just like stagnating.
Exactly.
Okay. And that brings us to, I think, the most exciting part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Investing.
Investing. And the article touches on like a whole range of options here. I mean, everything from, the typical stocks and bonds
Yeah.
to real estate, art, even commodities.
Right.
So there's truly an investment for, every personality and risk tolerance.
The variety can be overwhelming though, right?
It can be.
Especially for someone just starting out. Like, where do you even begin?
That's where understanding the relationship between risk and return is so essential.
Okay.
The article highlights that.
Yeah.
Explaining that generally higher potential returns typically come with, higher risk.
Uh-huh.
So it's about finding investments that align with your comfort level and, importantly, your long-term goals.
Not just chasing the highest return, but
Right.
finding the right fit.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Last key area that they mention is protection.
Yes, this one often gets overlooked, but it's just as crucial as, all the other areas. It covers things like life insurance,
Right.
health insurance, disability coverage, even estate planning.
Right. The things we don't necessarily want to think about,
Yeah,
but important.
very important. Having the right protection in place can give you such incredible peace of mind,
It's about safeguarding yourself from the unexpected. I remember when my aunt got hit with this sudden medical bill.
Oh.
Well, let's just say she was very grateful to have good insurance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So having those safety nets allows you to focus on the rest of your financial plan,
Exactly.
which brings us to the process of actually creating one.
Right.
We've laid the groundwork. Now let's talk strategy.
Okay.
What does the article suggest?
So they outline this 5-step process, starting with assessment.
Okay.
This is where you take a comprehensive look
Mhm.
at your current financial situation.
Financial selfie?
Yeah, like a financial selfie.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to know where you're starting from before you can, plot your course. Right.
So income, expenses, assets, debts, the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards. Exactly. And then it's about setting your financial goals.
Yeah.
This is where you can dream big. Early retirement. Buying that dream house.
Ooh, travel the world.
Traveling the world, yeah. Having clear goals gives you the motivation and the direction for your plan.
All right, so we've assessed our current situation. We've set our ambitious goals.
Yes.
What's next?
Then comes plan development. This is where you get into the nitty-gritty of building that roadmap
Okay.
to reach those goals.
Okay.
And this might involve, creating a detailed budget, exploring different investment options,
Okay.
setting up a savings plan, maybe even seeking advice from a financial advisor.
Okay, so we've got our personalized roadmap. We're ready to hit the gas.
Yes. Step 4 is execution.
Okay.
This is where you put that plan into action. No more dreaming. It's about tracking your spending,
Yeah.
making those investments,
Right.
taking those concrete steps toward your goals.
Love it. And the final step.
Monitoring and reassessment.
Oh, okay.
And it's so crucial to remember that personal finance isn't just a set it and forget it kind of deal.
Yeah.
Your financial situation, your goals, they will change over time.
Uh-huh.
So you need to regularly review your progress, make adjustments as needed,
Right.
and make sure you're still on the right track.
So it's about adapting to life's changes and making sure our plan stays relevant.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now let's get practical.
Yes.
Let's look at this example budget provided in the article.
Okay.
I love seeing things in action.
Yeah,
Budgets can sometimes feel restrictive, but I'm hoping this example shows us a different side.
it definitely does. The example budget incorporates income, expenses, and allocations for both savings and investments, showing that balanced approach.
I like that it includes all the key areas we've discussed.
Yeah.
It highlights how a budget can be like a tool
Yeah.
to reach your goals.
Actual, not a punishment.
Exactly, not a punishment at all.
Yeah.
And finally, the article touches upon the diverse career paths within personal finance.
Yes.
Perfect for anyone considering a career in this field,
Yeah.
or even just wanting to understand the roles of different financial professionals.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to dive into those careers in more detail later.
Yes.
But for now, we'll move on to part 2, where we'll unpack some of the key takeaways
Sounds good.
from this discussion and delve deeper into specific aspects of personal finance. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. Before we jump into anything new,
Yeah.
let's do a quick recap of what we've learned about personal finance so far.
Okay, yeah, we covered a lot in part 1.
We did.
But one of the things that really stuck with me is that whole idea of personal finance being about taking control, of your financial well-being.
Yes.
It's not just about like having a ton of money.
Right.
It's about making choices that, align with your goals, your values.
Absolutely. And those 5 key building blocks we talked about, income, spending, saving, investing, protection.
Right.
Each one is so important to creating a strong foundation, for your finances.
Yeah, and it's amazing how they're all like connected. Like
Yeah.
we talked about diversifying income streams,
Right.
tracking your spending, ouch, those lattes.
Yeah, those lattes.
Finding that balance with savings, enough for emergencies, but not so much that it's just sitting there.
Exactly.
It all comes back to that opportunity cost thing, right?
It does.
Are you making the most of your hard-earned money?
Yeah. And then, of course, there's investing, which can feel like a whole other world sometimes.
It can be intimidating, yeah.
Yeah.
But I appreciate how the article made it clear that it's not,
Right.
just for the super wealthy.
Right. Anybody can invest.
Yeah, there are options out there.
There are.
But for every budget, every risk tolerance.
Absolutely.
What really resonated with me was like aligning your investments with your long-term goals.
Yeah, that's key.
That's key.
It is. And understanding that relationship between risk and return.
Right.
It's not just about chasing the highest return, but finding investments that you're comfortable with.
You're comfortable with, yeah.
And that fit into your overall strategy.
And of course, we can't forget about protection,
Yes.
life insurance, health insurance, disability coverage.
All very important.
Not the, most glamorous parts of personal finance.
Right.
But so essential
They are.
for protecting yourself from the unexpected.
Exactly. Having those safety nets in place just gives you that peace of mind so you can focus on other things.
No, I'd love to hear from you. What resonated most with you from our discussion so far?
What really got me thinking was that idea of having too much in savings.
Yeah.
It's like, it seems counterintuitive, but then you think about like inflation eating away at it. If it's just sitting there,
Right.
it makes you kind of nervous.
Yeah, it does. It's like my money is losing value while it's just,
Exactly. And it highlights the importance of understanding the different options you have for savings and investing.
Okay.
Like instead of having a large sum in a low interest savings account, you could, for example, invest a portion of that in a diversified portfolio, maybe stocks and bonds, Historically, those have outpaced inflation over the long term.
So even if I'm like risk averse, there are ways to grow my savings without, taking on too much volatility.
Exactly. And, you don't have to figure this all out on your own.
Right.
Financial advisors can provide some really helpful guidance based on your situation, your risk tolerance.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also curious about that example budget from the article.
Of course.
Budgets sometimes feel kind of, restrictive,
I know what you mean.
but I'm hoping this example shows that they can actually like empower us to reach our goals.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
The example budget is structured really well. It starts with your income,
Okay.
all sources, not just your salary. Remember, diversifying your income can give you more stability.
Right. So not just my 9 to 5 job, but any side hustles, dividends, rental income, all that.
Exactly. And then it breaks down your expenses into different categories like housing, food,
Transportation,
healthcare, entertainment.
personal care.
Right. That level of detail really helps you see where your money is actually going.
Yeah, so you can see if maybe you're overspending in certain areas or where you could potentially cut back. I know I've been guilty of those like invisible expenses.
Oh,
Like subscriptions I barely use, or those impulse buys you regret later.
Oh, yeah, the impulse buys.
And that's where a budget can be so helpful, right?
It is.
It brings those to light and helps you make like conscious choices about your spending.
Absolutely. And what I find really smart about this example budget is that it includes allocations for both savings and investments.
Oh, I like that.
So you're taking care of both your immediate needs and your long-term goals.
It's that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's showing you that you can save for emergencies, for short-term goals, and still invest for the future,
Right.
all within, a manageable framework.
And it reminds us that saving isn't just about like stuffing money under your mattress.
Right.
There are so many options.
There are high-yield savings accounts, money market accounts, certificates of deposit.
Wow.
Each one has its own pros and cons, so it's about finding the right one for you.
So saving smart.
Saving smart.
Yeah. Yeah. And on the investing side, I like how the budget emphasizes diversification.
Yes, important concept.
Not putting all your eggs in one basket, as they say.
Exactly. Diversifying across different asset classes, industries, geographic regions can help you manage risk.
And potentially get better returns.
Right. And there are investment options for every budget and every risk tolerance, from those low-cost index funds to individual stocks and bonds.
Real estate.
Real estate. Even those alternative investments like precious metals.
Commodities.
Commodities, right? It's about finding the right mix for you.
Like a custom-tailored suit for your finances.
I love that. And remember, things are always changing in the investment world, so stay informed, seek guidance when you need it.
Okay.
Now let's look at the last section of the budget,
Okay.
the surplus or deficit.
This is where it gets real.
This is where the rubber meets the road, right?
Do we have money left over, or are we spending more than we earn?
Exactly. A surplus means you have extra money after covering all your expenses.
That's a good feeling.
It is a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use that surplus to boost your savings.
Invest more.
Maybe even treat yourself a little bit.
Okay, but what if you have a deficit?
It happens.
It can be discouraging.
It can be, but it's not a disaster.
Okay.
A deficit just means you need to make some adjustments.
Okay.
Maybe cut back in some areas.
Right.
Find ways to increase your income.
Or both.
Or both, yeah.
Mhm.
The budget is a tool. It helps you see where you can improve and make those informed decisions.
So it's about making choices, not about deprivation.
Exactly.
It's empowering, not punishing.
I like that, yeah. And budgeting is an ongoing thing. You have to
Right.
review it regularly,
Yeah.
make adjustments as needed.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to reach out to a financial professional if you need help.
Yeah, this has been so helpful. I
Yeah.
feel like I have a much better grasp on budgeting and, how it fits into overall financial well-being.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Before we move on to part 3,
Okay.
where we're going
Yeah.
to talk about those careers in personal finance,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a thought.
Okay. Intrigued.
What's one small step you can take today to improve your finances? It doesn't have to be a huge thing.
Yeah.
Just one small action.
Okay.
Could be setting up a budget, tracking your spending for a week,
Mm-hmm.
maybe do some research on investment options, or even just talk to a financial advisor.
That's a great point. Small steps can add up to big changes
They really can.
over time.
And that brings us to the end of part 2.
All right.
We'll be right back with part 3. We'll explore those careers in more detail and leave you with some final insights to help you on your financial journey.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from budgeting to investing.
We have.
But now I think it's time to dive into those careers in the world of personal finance.
Yeah, this is an exciting area.
Yeah.
It's a dynamic field, that's for sure. Lots of different roles for all sorts of interests and skill sets.
And whether you're thinking about a career change or just kind of curious about, who these different financial professionals are. Yeah.
Break it down.
Let's do it. Okay. So let's start with a role that I think a lot of people are familiar with, the personal banker.
Yeah, they're often the first point of contact for people, when it comes to their day-to-day finances.
Oh, right.
Think of them as your financial guides, helping you open accounts, manage transactions, and understand all those, basic banking services.
Yeah, the friendly faces at your local branch.
Exactly.
Answering those everyday questions.
Yeah, providing practical support.
Now, for someone looking for more, specialized financial guidance,
Okay.
especially when it comes to investments, we've got investment advisors.
Yes, these are the pros who help you build and manage that investment portfolio, taking into account, your risk tolerance,
Your goals.
your time horizon, all of that.
So they analyze market trends, recommend investments, help you diversify.
Exactly. They want to help you, potentially maximize your returns while managing that risk.
So they're kind of like the architects
Yeah.
of your investment strategy.
Good analogy.
Yeah. Now, for those with, maybe significant assets
Okay.
who are seeking really comprehensive financial guidance, we have wealth managers.
Yes, and their role goes beyond just investments.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. It's bigger.
it's more holistic. Wealth managers provide overall financial planning, which includes, the investment management piece,
Retirement planning.
estate planning, tax strategies,
Wow, even philanthropic guidance.
even philanthropic guidance. Yeah. It's about creating this harmonious and prosperous financial life, for their clients.
So they're like the conductor of a financial orchestra,
I like that.
bringing it all together.
Beautiful.
And speaking of harmony, we can't forget about insurance advisors.
Right. They play such a crucial role in protecting you from the unexpected.
Right, from life insurance to health insurance,
Disability coverage.
long-term care, all of that.
They help you navigate that world of insurance, find the right policies for your needs and your budget.
They're like your personal risk managers,
Ex
assessing those threats to your financial security and figuring out how to, mitigate the risk.
Yep. And then there's the world of taxes, which, can be pretty daunting.
Oh, yeah. Not my favorite thing.
No, but that's where tax advisors come in.
Yeah.
They're the experts on all those tax laws and regulations.
How can be lifesavers?
There can be, helping you, minimize your tax liability, stay compliant with rules, and even represent you if you get audited.
And of course, we need to think about estate planning,
Right.
making sure our assets are taken care of after. Well,
Yeah, it's not the most fun topic to think about,
it's not.
but it's important.
Very important. And estate planners help with all of that, right?
They do. They help you create wills, trusts, all those legal documents.
To make sure things go smoothly.
Yeah, minimize those tax burdens for your beneficiaries.
And for a truly comprehensive approach to, all things personal finance,
Okay.
we have financial planners.
Yes. Financial planners take this holistic view of your financial picture, helping you with everything.
Everything.
From budgeting and saving to investing, retirement planning, insurance,
So they're like the all-star quarterbacks
Yeah.
of personal finance.
creating that personalized game plan to help you reach your goals.
Love it. And last but not least, mortgage brokers.
Yeah.
The experts in home loans.
Yeah, they shop around for you.
Right. Find the best rates.
The best terms make that whole process smoother.
Potentially save you thousands of dollars.
Thousands, yeah. They're like your mortgage matchmakers, connecting you with the right lenders.
Guiding you through the process.
Yeah. And you know what? It's inspiring to see how each of these roles contributes to the overall financial well-being of people,
It is.
individuals, families.
Yeah. So many different paths.
It's a field that's always changing too, always new challenges, new opportunities.
As we wrap up this deep dive into personal finance, what are your final thoughts for our listeners?
Personal finance, it's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah, I like that.
It's about taking control, making those informed decisions, and seeking guidance when you need it.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone.
You don't. There are so many resources, experts to guide you, a whole world of knowledge to explore.
And those small steps, they can lead to big changes.
They can. Start with one small action today to move closer to your goals.
Whether it's, setting up a budget, doing some research on investments, or even just talking to an advisor.
Right, every step matters.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of personal finance.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for financial well-being.